Be careful out there, I found a scam on this month's eBay sales video. Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher. So let's jump right into it. We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Lawrence, over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and I want to thank you guys for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today, of course, is our monthly eBay sales video, where I check out some of the sold listings via eBay. We check out the sell prices and, of course, compare them to the last sales according to GPA. But before we get into this one, I remind you guys, if you're not a current sub to the channel, you're definitely missing out. Hit that sub button, you won't regret it. Do me a solid, smash the like button, because we're trying to get this channel up to 10,000 subs by the end of the year. And don't forget, we're doing an 8,000 sub giveaway. Also, there's one other thing I want to mention to you guys. If you are having trouble finding your Grail book and you need time payments, do me a favor, email me in the description of this video. I may be able to help. With that said, let's get into this month's eBay sales video. So we're going to start the video off with the scam book. Now check this one out, because there's a lot of things you need to pay attention to. First of all, check out the heading, Journey into Mystery number 83, CGC 4.5. Check out the pictures. Is this book CGC graded? Of course it's not. The next thing it says is this, reprint first appearance of Marvel Thor. Obviously, looking at this book, we know about the Golden Record reprint, but check out this book pictured. Top left-hand corner is the 12-cent stamp. Of course, on the Golden Record reprints, there is no 12-cent stamp, so I am not too sure what's going on. I did a little bit more research and, of course, checked out the buyer. Of course, he has zero feedback, which tells me this book is a scam, but it gets even better. They are listing this book for $500, and somebody went ahead and bought it right now for 500 bucks. Now, I can't confirm if this book was actually sold or not, but what I can confirm is that it's stated as sold, but it could have been taken down by eBay. Either way, check out the description of this book below. Experience the thrill of Silver Age with this amazing reprint of Journey into Mystery number 83, featuring the first appearance of everyone's favorite Asgardian, Thor. The key issue from 1962 is a must-have for any serious collector of US comics. Immerse yourself in classic artwork and storytelling that made Marvel Comics a household name. This CGC 4.5 graded issue is in excellent condition and comes with a stunning cover featuring Thor in all his glory. Don't miss out on the chance to own a piece of comic book history. One, they list this as a reprint. Second, they're listing this book as a CGC graded book when obviously it is a raw book. Third, they're saying this book is a 4.5. Looking at it, we can see it's a 0.5, right? There's no argument there. And of course, lastly, they have this for sale for $500, which obviously in a 0.5, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the GPA analysis. The last sale on a 0.5 complete was $2,300 back in April of this year, 90-day $2,300, and so on and so forth. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think this book actually sold for 500 bucks, or you think it probably got taken down by eBay? Up next, we're going to take a look at a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 14, and there's going to be a theme for this video. You guys let me know what you think it is. Either way, this book was listed as a CGC 6.5, off-white to white pages, which sold on June 12th for $3,150. To boot, this is an old label. The first thing I noticed about this book are the colors are not as bright as some of the ASM 14s out there, which to me is a little bit of a detriment. As you check out the GPA analysis, you could see that the last sale has already been recorded at $3,150 just this month. The 90-day average right behind it, $3,200. The 12-month rolling average, $3,253. In 2023, the average is $3,439. Check out 2022. Crazy. This book is down about 25%, $4,451. Either way, you guys know I love this book. I just sold my 3.5 copy because I upgraded to a nice raw copy. But either way, someone paid around market value for this book. They probably could have got a better deal on another book that looked a little bit better than this one, in my opinion. Up next, how about some more Silver Age Amazing Spider-Man? Here we have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 20 in high grade near mint. They're calling this book, of course, the first appearance origin of the Scorpion. Now, this book sold on June 9th of this year for $1,225 on 42 bids. But let's go ahead and take a look at a 6.5. Now, they're calling this book near mint. You guys heard me say that. But if you check out the right portion of the entire book, it almost looks like there's a little bit of water damage. I cannot tell if it is water damage or just some foxing or maybe some light shining across the book. Either way, we're not sure. I'm calling this book about a 6.5 if it has water damage, so keep that in the back of your head. The last sale, according to GPA, of a 6.5 was in April for $840. We have to go all the way back to the 12-month rolling average to see an $891 average. In 2023, the average was $897, but check out 2022. Again, the average $1,510. I want to hear you guys' opinion out there. Do you think this is a near mint copy? We're talking 9.0 or higher. Definitely presents beautifully, but to me, to spend $1,200 to take a gamble from what I see on the right portion of the cover, I'm not too sure I would have done that. So guess what? Some more Amazing Spider-Man goodness. That's what I was seeing when I went through eBay last sales. I always check over $500, so keep that in the back of your mind. But I was seeing a lot of Amazing Spider-Man books being sold. So that's what I'm bringing you in this month's video. Either way, we have this book, an Amazing Spider-Man number 129 in a CGC 5.5 signed by Stan Lee, John Romita Sr., and Jerry Conway. Awesome book, but it gets even better than that. I tried to go find a 5.5 that was signed by the three of these gentlemen, and the only book I could find was this copy right here, which just sold for $2,700 on June 12th. How amazing is that? We talk about a book that has a ton of copies out there. This is a way of narrowing down a common book by getting multiple signatures verified or witnessed by CGC or another grading company, because now all of a sudden we have one known copy of this book, and all of a sudden the value just shoots right up. I promise you guys there will be more books besides Amazing Spider-Man books on this video. However, here we have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 2 and the first appearance of the Vulture, but also the third appearance of Spider-Man. Now check out this book right here. This thing presents phenomenal. Look at the colors on this book. It would be super high grade if it didn't have that damage on the top portion of the book and the right portion where Marvel chipping usually occurs. Either way, I'm calling this book a 5.5, but the only reason I am doing that, because I do think it's higher grade than that, it's because I want to compare to the price that this book sold for, which was $1,999.99. I took a 5.5, and as you can see, the last sale of a 5.5 was in May for $2,160. The 90-day average, $3,080, which is absolute insanity. 12-month rolling average, $3,345 on just 4 sales. In 2023, the average was $3,940, and in 2022, an insane $4,802. Can we all agree that this book is higher than a 5.5? I think it is, and someone got it for an absolute steal for $2,000. You know what I'm starting to see lately? A lot of copies of this book being for sale. And here we have a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 1, the first appearance of Spider-Man in his own solo title, and of course the first appearance of J. Jonah Jameson and the Chameleon. This copy is a CGC 2.5 with off-white pages that sold at auction for $7,261.30. This is also shipping from the UK, sold on June 10th. Now, according to GPA, the last sale of a 2.5 was $7,194, so right in line with this sale. But look at this book. The top right-hand corner of this book, someone has taken a bite out of that front cover. So to me, if I'm going to buy this book, I want it at a significant discount. Also, the colors in this one are not great. Also, the colors on this one are not ideal either. The 90-day average for this book, $6,975 on 2 sales. The 12-month rolling average, $6,981. In 2023, the average was $7,483. $1,083. It gets worse. In 2022, the average was a whopping $10,562. So again, right around 30% or so, this book has come down. Either way, if you can't get an AF-15, I always say this is the next best thing if you're a big Spidey fan. Okay, so finally we're opening it up to other books besides Amazing Spider-Man, and sorry for the quality of the picture of this book, but according to eBay, this is how it was listed. Here we have a copy of Fantastic Four number 12, one of my favorite covers of all time, classic Jack Kirby at his finest, the first time the Hulk and the Thing meet. I actually have a 2.5 in my collection that is for sale right now. Check out my Instagram. But either way, here we have a 3.5 with off-white pages that was sold on June 10th for $899.95 right at the offer price. Now, as we check GPA, you can see the last sale for this book was all the way down at $610, so someone really overpaid for this thing. Their 90-day average, $655 on 2 sales. 12-month rolling average is $793, and in 2023, $906. But again, 2022, I hope you guys were not buying comics during that time period, all the way up at $1,377, 50% haircut, and possibly more. You guys know I love this cover. I definitely want to own this book, but hey, I still think this book is coming down right now in price. Maybe a good time to buy if you're a 20-year holder. I always say it. All right, so let's talk about another freaking banger relating to the Fantastic Four. In fact, the biggest book relating to the Fantastic Four. It is a copy of Fantastic Four number 1 and the first appearance of Marvel's First Family. Now, as you look at this book, you can see there's a massive spine roll along the entire right portion of the book. It looks like there's tape residue or some major foxing. I do think it's tape residue or possibly even tape. I'm not too sure, but there are no notes at the top of this book. Either way, it's a CGC 1.5, they're calling it, and it's sold on June 7th for $6,100 on 42 bids. Now, as you check GPA, you can see the last sale has already been recorded at $6,100. The 90-day average, pretty much the same, $6,045. The 12-month rolling average, similar, $6,409. In 2023, $7,409, and then crazy 2022, $10,648. But the question I want to ask you guys is this: do you think if you were to crack this book out, it was pressed by a phenomenal presser and able to fix that spine roll or bad wrap, whatever you want to call it, possibly even cleaned? Could this book have potential for a possible grade bump? I want to hear from you guys. How about we give DC a little love? This book has been super hot right now, and I wanted to cover this copy specifically, one of our raw books of the week. Here we have a copy of House of Secrets number 92 and the first appearance of the original Swamp Thing. Now, this book sold for $560.95 on June 12th. Now, looking at this book, I wasn't too sure what the grade would be. I'm calling it a 2.5, could possibly be a 2.0 or even a 3.0. Not too sure. I think the solid bet was a 2.5. Could it benefit from a press? Absolutely, but regardless, I still think it's going to come back around a 2.5 grade. Let's check GPA. The last sale of a 2.5 CGC graded copy was $610, so not too bad. They got about a $50 discount. The 12-month rolling average was $614, basically the same. 2023, the average is $677, and in 2022, only $700. So we're talking about a book, especially in this grade point, lower grades, that really hasn't moved much, especially over that time period where other books have gotten freaking demolished. Now, this book in higher grades does command a lot of money, and to me, because it's a Bronze Age book, because it's a DC book, I really want to try to get this one in a little bit of a higher grade. I'm calling at least a 5.0 or higher. Specifically for me, I'd love to own a 7.0 or higher. All right, how about this book? Now we went over from Spider-Man to the Fantastic Four to Swamp Thing and now the X-Men. The first thing I noticed when I saw this book is look at the colors on this baby. It is absolutely beautiful. The whites are really white, and that giant size X-Men logo and the characters below all have fantastic colors. So let's check it out. Giant size X-Men 1 and a CGC 7.5 with off-white to white pages sold on June 12th for $2,650. Let's see what GPA says. The last sale, of course, has been recorded. It's this one. The 90-day average, right around that, $2,544. I think someone really probably paid a little bit more for the colors on this book because it is absolutely beautiful. The 12-month rolling average, $2,723. bucks on a whopping 48 sales. In 2023, the average was $3,159. And of course, way back in 2022, $4,393. But again, if you want to own this book, do not buy a copy which doesn't have beautiful colors. Do not buy a copy that doesn't look pristine, because to me, I think with all the copies out there, you want to try to get the best copy you can afford. So even if it's a little bit beat up, I don't mind that if the colors are great. That's the real hidden key when we're talking about this book, in my opinion. And we're going to end this video going back to the Fantastic Four, and of course the book that has gotten beat up the most. It is a copy of Fantastic Four number 48 and the first full appearance of the Silver Surfer and the cameo of Galactus, a classic Jack Kirby cover. Now this book in a CGC 4.5 with off-white pages sold on June 12th for $945 on just 4 bids, which is kind of sad. Regardless, the GPA already recorded that last sale of $945, but the 90-day was up at $1,036. So tell me this book is still coming down. There's a ton of copies out there. We're talking, I think, at least 8,000 on the census. 12-month rolling average, $1,075. We have to go all the way back to 2022 to see an average of $2,071. So again, this book has gone over the 50% mark, and you have to be really careful, especially if you're not going to hold on to this book for the long term. But again, if you're a buyer of this one, you have to be a major Silver Surfer fan, and you have to be willing to hold on to this one for the long term, because I do still think it's coming down. That doesn't mean you shouldn't own the book, because I said previously I would definitely buy this one for the long term. Eventually, it's going to get a bounce. So that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I like to show you once a month what's really selling on eBay. Of course, you have to check out my Instagram sales video as well. It tells you what's selling there. And of course, always check out my Hot 10 Comics of the Week breakdown. It tells you what's hot right now. I don't always agree with that stuff. I tell you a lot of time not to buy some of the books that are on that hot list. But regardless, if you see major keys being sold on all these 3 platforms, definitely take notice. All right, buy what's best for you, but again, try to be under that last sale or around the 90-day average. That's what usually I do. And make sure right now, if you're buying books, you're holding on to them for the long term. That is the main thing right now. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon.